ओ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओ नमो नारायणाय। श्री हरे नमः। Swayambhu Manu, born from Lord Brahma's right half as per his progenitor's advice, married Shadarupa, who was born from Brahma's left half. Their offsprings were sons Uttanapada and Priyavrata, daughters Akuti, Devakuti, and Prasudi. In Uttanapada's lineage were Dhruva Prudu and the Bargishas Praji the Bargis, from whom was the second birth of Daksha. In Priyavrata's lineage were Agnidhara, Nabhi, Rishabha, and Bharata. And it was from Bharata that our land got the name Bharatavarsha. Swayambhu Manu's daughters Dr. Akuti and her spouse Ruji. Akuti was married to Ruji, a highly enlightened lord of created beings. Their son Yajna was adopted by Swayambhu Manu, that is, adopted grandson. And their daughter Dakshina was married to the said Yajna. This marriage between the son and the daughter of Akuti and Ruchi was possible as the daughter was of Father Ruchi's Gotra and the son, after being adopted by the Manu, had the Manu's Gotra. In fact, Yajna was a ray of Sriman Narayana, while Dakshina was a ray of Goddess Lakshmi. Adoption of a boy or girl for Gotra change and then giving away in marriage to close blood relation is not uncommon in our times. Daksha and Prasudi. Lord Brahma's mind-born son Daksha married Swayambhu Manu's daughter Prasudi. They had 16 daughters. One daughter Sati was married to Bhava, Rudra, that is Lord Shiva. Sati's marriage with Bhava was against the wishes of Daksha, who therefore nurtured a dislike towards Bhava and showed it. We will come to that in the chapter on Daksha. Daksha, through penance, later took rebirth as a son of Prajatas, as mentioned, and became Prajapati, progenitor. Sati, a form of Shakti, took rebirth as Parvati, a daughter of Himavan and Mainaka, and joined Lord Parameshwara in Mount Kailasa. Bhava, Rudra, was in constant meditation and peace with himself as the one to be Lord Shiva to protect the world. Kardama and Devahuti. Kardama, a mind-born son of Lord Brahma, married Devahuti. There was a background to this marriage. Kardama was a great yogi. In his realization that Lord Narayana alone was the succor to fickle-minded beings. Kardama was praying for 10,000 years to the Almighty to guide him and show him a worthy woman to carry on the process of creation as ordained. Seated as he was on the banks of the holy river Saraswati, Sriman Narayana, as Shankh Chakra Gadadhari, appeared before him on Garuda's back and advised him to accept the daughter of Swayambhuva, who would reach his hermitage soon along with his daughter. The benevolent Almighty is said to have shed tears, being overwhelmed by extreme compassion towards Kardama after hearing the praise by Kardama and after telling him that he himself would be born as a ray of his, as a son to him later. And thus was Sri Hari born as Kardama's son Kapila, who imparted the Sankhya Yoga to Mother Devahuti. The drops of holy tears from the Almighty's eyes, made the Bindu Sarovar lake holy and sanctified. Earlier, Lord Brahma had advised Swayambhuva to take his daughter Devahuti to the banks of the river Saraswati that skirted the lake Bindusarovara, where he would meet the sage Kardama, whose hand should be sought for his daughter. Thus it was that Sriman Narayana advised Kardama to take the hands of Swayambhuva's daughter, and Lord Brahma advised Swayambhuva to go to Bindusarovara to take the hands of Kardama for his daughter Devahuti. As ordained, Swayambhuva Manu, along with his wife Satarupa and daughter Devahuti, arrived at the place where Kardama was doing prayers. Kardama himself told the anxious Manu that his daughter was to be his worthy and blessed life partner. Devahuti was accordingly handed over to the sage. After Swayambhuva and his wife departed, Kardama and spouse Devahuti proceeded to Barhismati. In due course, knowing the desire of Devahuti and being the propitious time, Kardama asked her to have a holy dip in the Bindusarovar lake, into which the Almighty's teardrop had fallen with a purpose. Once inside the waters, Devahuti could see the celestial damsels in attendance to do the chores for her purificatory bath and dressing her up with gold-laced attire, jewels, and for smearing of sandal paste. Through his yogic power, Kardama created an aerial car shining with gold, gems and pearls and bedecked with fragrant flowers. Accompanied by his charming and bejeweled spouse, Kardama spent a long number of years moving unhindered in the divine aerial car that he had created. This was perhaps the first ever aerial vehicle. Later on, an aerial vehicle, Pushpaka Vimana, was bestowed to Kubera by Lord Shiva. It was snatched by Ravana, his half-brother, and later the same carried Sri Rama and Sita from Lanka to Ayodhya, and Sri Rama restored the Pushpaka back to Kubera, also known as Vaishravana. In modern times, marriages held in aeroplanes or helicopters are not uncommon. Kardama and Devahuti were blessed with 9 daughters who were married to the 9 worthy mind-born sons of Lord Brahma. Their offsprings were in accordance with the creation process as ordained. These 9 daughters were Anasuya, Kala, Khyati, Gati, Havirbu, Arundhati, Shraddha, Krida, Shanti, and Chitti. Years later, Devahuti, as desired, was blessed with a son, Kapila, who was a part manifestation of Srihari as revealed by the Lord to Kardama earlier. Kapilopakhyanam deals with son Kapila's discourse to Mother Devahuti and the teaching of Sankhya Yoga. At the end of a long discourse and after being enlightened, Devahuti followed the path of Kardama and proceeded to the forest for meditation and finally attained to the abode of Lord Almighty, Sriman Narayana. Swayambhuva Manu became the first Manu in the cycle of yugas through the time span determined by the period of each 14 Manvantaras, of which we are now in the 7th, known as Vaivasvata Manvantara. Narayana, 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 Narayana. Sarve Jana Sugino Bhavantu.